All right, welcome in everybody. We are BTB Analytics and we are here breaking down the SEC ahead of this college football season. It is another potentially loaded, stacked conference. We want to talk about some of the favorites to win. We want to talk about the edge cases and value that we see in the market, give you guys the data, give you guys some actionable takeaways as well. So let's start breaking it down. Seth, I want to kick it off with maybe a team that I personally am a little surprised to see at the top in terms of the number of wins that we give them. We
Yeah.
have the top dog in the conference as Bama, the Crimson Tide. We give them 10.1 wins, median of 9.5 throughout all the models that we bring in here. So I don't know what to make of this team. Like, is this a potential buy low spot for them? Are they overrated, underrated? Like, what is the read from the data that you see and how you think about playing this team going into the season?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's tricky. I think in the marketplace, Texas is the kind of number one SEC team, and we're not too far off. We kind of put these teams kind of neck and neck to one another, and I get it. Texas got a lot of hype. I think Alabama is building as quick as Alabama can, or what is normal for Alabama, a 2-year bounce back rather than a 1-year bounce back. And I think there's a lot of reasons that you want to buy the hype, or at least you have a thesis for the hype. And, it's a lot of similarities for Texas. You're getting a young 5-star quarterback. Everyone's slam dunking that, that's so easy for Texas. Well, it's the same logic here for Alabama. You have a pocket passer for Kalen DeBoer to play with. And we've seen what he's been able to do in the past. But the market is in very much disagreement here. We are pretty high on this team. We make them 10.1 wins. We give Texas 10 wins.
Yeah.
So again, they're kind of neck and neck. But PFF, they're giving Alabama 7.8 wins as their median wins, which basically brings down the aggregate that we look at. And there's some others that are a little bit low. Parker Fleming, who we really respect his work, he only gives them 9.3 wins. But most of these models are around that 9 to 10. Why PFF is way down there at 7.6, I'm not sure. But I guess they have a lot of questions on being able to fill that roster out. And we've obviously seen Nick Saban do it, but I don't know, but
Maybe they have an Auburn alum on their staff who is responsible for this exercise.
It must be. But I mean, week one is, dare I say, it should be an easy win for them.
Yeah. Florida State, yeah. Well, I mean, why the hell not? Right. But I mean, so to your point, like, yeah, I guess I'm a little uncertain about this team and don't know how to play that. And to be frank, I forget if you mentioned it, but we're not showing based off the numbers that we have any edge to either side from a win total standpoint. But they do have a relatively tough SEC schedule, I'll say. You see some of the other ones, UL Monroe, like, okay, yeah, Florida State, we don't expect to be any good. Eastern Illinois, second last game of the season, like, what the hell is that? But new QB, new coordinator. Some things are just a little too in the gray for me to feel comfortable taking any positions here.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, we like to see continuity. We like to see all the models agree, and this is one of those ones where the models don't agree. We're a little bit higher than the market. I would kind of put us on market, to be honest. And then there's some like PFFs out there that they're saying fire sell Alabama. Mm-hmm. For me, I'm not there. But for me, the question is, why does Texas get the easy hype, but Alabama doesn't? Like, why is it a slam dunk, a young 5-star quarterback? Oh, yeah, they're going to win the national championship. Alabama, young 5-star quarterback. I'm not sure. I'm a little confused. That's to me just a little inconsistency.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, to your point. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Oh, no, I was going to say, yeah, I mean, I get it to the extent where it's like, oh, Alabama had a down year per Alabama standards. But let's not forget, like, this team still has one of the best defenses in the country. They can still compete there. And I'm pretty sure, so you're talking about their quarterback, they're leaning towards Ty Simpson, who I think we saw play when we did the Alabama-Texas game when Millville got benched. Okay. I don't think he had an official pass in that game, but we saw him in there. So that was just kind of cool to see. We saw him before he was cool.
Full circle. But
I'm with you, Seth.
Took his first loss. PFF says one of many.
One of many, indeed. Yeah. But so to your point, though, like, we have them, slated at 10.1 wins at the very bottom of our list and how we are ranking the SEC. We give the lowest team is Mississippi State at 6.1 wins. So, like, to put that into maybe a little bit of context, like, there's not a lot separating the top from the bottom. in this conference. So to me, yeah, I'm glad we're not showing any value, frankly, because this one would feel pretty gross to me. I just think there's a lot of too much uncertainty, frankly, in my opinion. But let's move on down the list to something where we think there is a little more certainty and a little more value than that we're on a position that we have taken that you should be able to take as well. Let's talk about LSU. So to be frank, we're selling. Not go Tigers, buy Tigers. Okay, sell the 8 wins. Give us plus 130 all day, every day. So,
give it to
walk us through, Seth, a little bit on the value on this one and why the price is just too good to pass up, baby.
Yeah, and look, I'm not going to be able to give you the sexy answer like LSU is going to be the worst team ever. Look, could this team go to the playoff? And I think, to be honest, for Brian Kelly, that's got to be the mission this year. They got to make the playoff. But this is a team that historically loses week 1, and they are slated to have a very weak, tough week 1 game with Clemson, where they have to go to Clemson. And this is just a team, when you run the simulations and the market, all the other market simulations, they win 8 games just all of the time. And you're basically getting it to sell this team at an inflated number where it's a sell high or buy low, whatever you want to say, sell high kind of spot. So plus 130, give it to me. They win 8 games a lot of the time. Come at me in the comments. That's fine. I'll just say you're right. Can they win 10 games? Yes, they can. They do this very, very often.
So Steve,
very infrequently.
Steve, beyond the under win totals, which we have position on in a stake in, are we seeing anything else in our numbers for some other futures plays for LSU here?
Yeah, I'm going to take it a step further. I think not only do you take the under 8 wins, but you take the miss the playoffs again. And Seth, I agree with you. Like, this is a team, like, that is what you have to do. But if you can pull up I don't know. Actually, I know we have the postseason edge graph here, but we have the numbers here on there's no value for LSU to make the playoffs, or there's no edge there. But if you inverse that to miss the playoffs, there technically is value there if you can get them at minus 138 at FanDuel right now. And here's my thing. If LSU is not getting to 9 wins, let alone 8 wins, there's no way in hell they're making the playoffs. Now, SEC definitely gets a lot of love. We saw Alabama, a 3-loss team, damn near sneak their way in, even though, there were some powers that be. But this is one of the things I'm worried about. You look at the strengths, right? Yes, LSU, top 2, offense over the last couple of years. Garrett Nussmeier's a gunslinger. They put up points, but it's the defense, right? Yes. We talk about they struggle year in and year out. Ranked 82nd in EPA per play last season, 9th worst in the Power 4 over the last couple of years. They're losing 4 of their 5 stars on the offensive line. And yeah, sure, you have the explosive playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, but if you can't stop anybody, you can't win, which is exactly why LSU hasn't made the playoffs. So I don't see a lot of this changing this year this fast. And I think those go hand in hand. If you're taking the under wins, you're not getting to the playoffs. Give me both, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's fair. And look, we show they win 8 wins 58% of the time. I mean, even if they win 9 wins, does that get them in the playoffs? I think it starts to become a question at 9 wins, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, I know this is not last year, right? But if you look at the final CFP rankings, I'm pretty positive the only one who ranked there was Alabama. Like, everyone else is going to be 2 wins. And that's Alabama. I don't think LSU is getting the same brand name love. So I don't see a world.
We only show them getting to 9 wins 25% of all simulations. So the vast majority of these, and they only get to 10 wins 10% of the time.
Yeah. I mean, look, the plus 130 is a sexier bet. I get that all day, and we're taking that, and you should too. But if you're already there, I think for me, I'm taking the offset in this playoffs, just a cherry on top.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. All right, before we dive in and keep this train rolling here, let's take a pause. We've got 15 seconds for a quick announcement. Don't forget, guys, every single play that we take, whether it's futures markets or in season during sides, we have quantified our edges, and we show you guys the same thing for anyone who is a subscriber to our season long or monthly packages. So highly recommend you check those out. Both of the packages are up live. We have monthly and season long options. So you can get in season long, that'll be good, but for both all college football as well as all NFL sides. And now in the NFL this year, we got a new addition to the toolbox, and that's And that's totals as well. So feeling very, very confident, very good about the playbook for this season. So be sure to check those out. All right, 2 teams in the books. We got a few more to talk about. Don't forget to like the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you think in the comments. Are we selling LSU too much? I don't know. You tell us what you think. But let's move on down the line here to another intriguing team, in my opinion, in Texas A&M here. I don't know if I can go so far as to say they have a potential to win it, but is 9, like the market's at 7.5. Seth,
Yeah.
what is this team's ceiling, do you think?
I think the ceiling is 9 wins, like with a somewhat of a high probability. Our sims lean in the direction at 7.9 median. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. This is the team year in, year out. I have the fatigue that this is A&M's year. This is the year they're going to win. This is, we go back just a couple of seasons ago with Jimbo Fisher, the #1 recruiting class. This is a team always high in the blue chip ratio, 76% of their roster, 4- and 5-star recruits. Win 8 games, win 7 games, So they have the hype. They from a schedule standpoint, they start, I think, fairly easy, but obviously they got to go to Notre Dame. That was a tricky game for them last year. But in theory, you have the second-year head coach taking a step forward. We saw, I think their quarterback didn't start at the beginning of last year, but he played some games, and I think he's kind of, he's got some continuity similar to kind of Lagway. So to me, they're like an intriguing team, but it's really hard for me to show up to the market to want to buy here when I've just been burned so many damn times.
Yeah, I do. It's a fair point, and I mean, somewhat ironically, we're pretty higher than all the other models. We give them 9.1 wins, and the next is sitting at 8.1. So we are higher on them, somewhat ironically, than the rest of the market. So we're kind of dragging up the median, if you will. But yeah,
But Parker
I agree
gives
with
them
you.
8 wins. I mean, FPI gives them 8 wins. So I mean, I think 8 wins, 8.5 wins, like
kinda,
9 wins is ceiling.
Right.
I do hope a playoff team, maybe.
I do hope they show out October 11th, though, because if any Aggies fans are listening, let us know in the comments or a sidebar, like some good spots to hit up. We'll be in town. We'll be in College Station October 11th for the Aggies and the Florida game. So we're going to be representing all the way in College Station, baby. All right, let's keep this train rolling. Again, guys, don't forget to turn on the notification button. Not only during the preseason, we'll have all conference videos breaking down, showing value, giving edges out. But come season time, we'll be doing weekly NFL and college shows, talking about our model, talking about edge and value cases as well. So you're not going to want to miss when those drop, because we talk about real-time edges as well. So that being said, let's keep this train rolling. Another team, Seth, I want to get your thoughts on real quick. South Carolina. Maybe this is another situation where I've just been, buried my head in the sand, so to speak. But what the hell have you been hearing about this team? Because I don't know what to make of them.
I mean, the team as a whole doesn't seem to have a lot of hype, but I'm hearing a lot of hype around Lenore Sellers having hype for the Heisman. And the question for me is, I'm failing to see the thesis for how that is. I think the market right now is at 7.5. We make this 7.2, and the reality is that just doesn't seem like enough wins to win the Heisman. So I'm wondering, I feel like people kind of think back to the last season. They remember the high points of that season, and then they project onto it only the high points of last season onto this season. So I fail to understand, how many wins does the Heisman winner have to get to? Because usually this is correlated with a lot of winning.
Yeah,
would you guys agree or disagree with that?
No, you cannot. Yeah, you can't win the Heisman as a 6 or 7 win team. I just don't think you can.
Now, no doubt they play the teams to get the clout, so to speak, but can they win the games?
Right.
Yeah,
and how many times have we seen that? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to mention on his odds to win the Heisman, they're actually not as long as I thought they were.
No, that's what I'm seeing. He's getting some fair amount of hype.
Yeah, plus 1,700, plus 18, plus 2,000 are the longest odds at ESPN Bet. So not impossible. So if you want to associate or draw some corollaries there, if he's going to be good
I'm
enough,
saying
is
no,
he going to
you
be
can't.
good enough to drag them to 9 wins?
I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying his Heisman numbers inflated because they're not
Sure.
going to win enough. They're not going to win enough for him to be in the hunt, the run. I don't know, Steve. You have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, no. I was that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, you look at these teams. I mean, how many times have we seen these kind of folks? I mean, look at Carson Beck, right? Where it's like, oh man, Carson Beck, he can come back, he can do it, he can do it. He had this great like arc, back half of the season, but yeah, they just don't win enough. I'm with you, Seth. You have to be a big brand name effectively and do it. Now, the anti argument to that would be Travis Hunter, right? Because
but still
they
9 wins.
won. Yeah, exactly. Right. So you got. I think for me, like that's kind of the floor. But he did something we haven't seen in football in decades, right? So like 9 wins, but you got to be superhuman to do it, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, then you got to get 10 plus to be in the run.
Yeah. I mean, they were, for what it's worth too, from a talent standpoint, like they were really active in the transfer portal, the number 11th ranked class, 6 4-star recruits, 8 3-star, 14 total commits. So I don't know. I'm just not seeing. I'm with you, Seth. Generally, I'm not seeing it, but not enough for me to take a position on him at this point, I guess.
Eric, producer, makes a really good point. What if he performs in that LSU, OU, Bama, Ole Miss, TAMU stretch? Exactly. What if he does? Then yeah, he will be in the running. So I guess maybe a better question here is, if you're a Lenore Sellers buyer of the Heisman at plus, what do you say, 1,700? You have to find a book to parlay that with the over the 7.5. You have to, because if he just went on the run we just described, he will win the Heisman 100%. But it also means that 100% he went over. So I think that these things are you could look at them, I guess, from one perspective or the other, but they're correlated. They're definitely correlated.
Sure. Yeah. All right. I want to move on. I want to get your guys' thoughts real quick on a team that I don't want to say is under the radar necessarily. It's kind of hard to say that with Georgia, but they're not talked about in the same with the same level of respect, I guess, as we've maybe become accustomed to, like in the 2020 to 23 era where they were just so dominant, right? So we give them 9.3 wins, median also of 9.3. The market's at 9.5. If not for FPI, this might be an unders bet for us. So kind of an open-ended, not really like super pointed question, but like the old phrase, like just keep chopping wood, as Kirby says. Is Georgia running out of wood to chop here? Has the conference caught up with respect to talent, or just with respect to having a more even playing field? I mentioned at the start, from the top to the bottom of the conference, only our numbers, 4 wins separate the top from the bottom, right? So how does Georgia find a way to win 10 games?
I mean, we got to pump the brakes here. I mean, this is blasphemy. They won the SEC last year with a backup. I mean, Carson Beck. What do you mean? I'm just saying, you're acting like they already fell off. They won the SEC last year, and I mean, we have them right there. I mean, there's only 3 teams in the SEC that are slated to win over or under 9.5, and they're one of the teams. So it's really hard for me to say that there's no wood to chop. There's plenty of wood to chop, and I'm not selling Georgia. I think that they're having to rebuild just like everybody else. But this is the thing. This season is different than what we're remembering. There's a lot of turnover comparatively this year than there across college football than there has been in the past. There's only 5 returning starters at quarterback in the SEC. So I think, from that perspective, I think Georgia can totally win the SEC championship again and potentially win the national championship. Can they do that with the brand names that we don't know yet? No, but I mean, you didn't know who Stetson Bennett was his first year, right? It's the same type of. They're accustomed to rebuilding year over year, and I think if a coach can do it, it's Kirby.
Yeah, and I guess to play my own devil's advocate too, like if there's any, like if the hype doesn't match the Texas team, come into this season, right? Which is very possible, in my opinion, right? So they stumble a little bit or aren't as good as people assume. Maybe similar situation with Alabama. Like, yeah, you're right. They are one of the top 3 teams, generally speaking, in the SEC. But I don't know what it is. Maybe just a gut feeling. Maybe I don't know ball either. Who knows? But I just have this weird feeling that they may not overperform this season. That's all. But the market disagrees with me also.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No,
Please.
I don't really have much.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that makes
I just,
that
it's
makes,
just
that
the
makes for good
natural rage
podcasting.
reaction.
No, Steve,
well,
you have something.
But yeah, I guess what to your point, Kevin, what I will say is there was a time where it felt like it was Alabama's league and nobody else's. And then along came Georgia, and it was Georgia's conference and nobody else's. And then it was Georgia, Alabama was always going to be the game. And I feel like there's definitely seems to be more parity. Like, well, okay, well, it could be any one of those. It could be Texas. We could have a dark horse here. So I'll give you that. But I do agree with Seth. Like, let's put some respect on that name, right? Now, what I will say to those who are looking to maybe fade Georgia based off of some recent and small sample size and Gunnar Stockton play, let's not forget. I mean, Gunnar Stockton came into the game second half of Texas. They did win that game, right? But he back up the whole year. And then, oh yeah, your first true start of the entire year, you're going up against the vaunted defense that is Notre Dame. Like, I give him some slack. I think you have a full off season and an offense to prepare around Stockton's strengths and weaknesses. You're going to see much better play, ideally and likely, at the quarterback slot. So I wouldn't be quick to count Georgia out just yet because of that small sample size.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well then perhaps a team that maybe is worth buying the hype. Let's move on, and I want to get your guys' takes on the Florida Gators real quick, because yeah, this is one where I've been, for whatever one reason or another, been seeing a lot of hype coming into the season too. So is this one of the teams in the SEC where we should be buyers?
No, I don't believe so. And we were buyers last season. I think the market is a year late. The 4.5 was like a slam dunk. It was like one of the biggest edges I've ever seen in my career.
I cashed like week 6 or week 5 or
it was easy peasy. And they won 8 games. I think we projected they would win like 7 point something. Yeah. And now you're getting to buy them at that 7.5 number. I think the reality, my answer is, you're just buying them at their price. Like you could have got them at a discount last year. This is not the year to get the discount. And all of the things people are arguing, they were arguing last year. Hard schedule, hardest schedule in college football. Right. Number 1. Yeah, they got Lagway question marks all over. Apparently with injuries, we did see it in real time last year. He got injured a number of times, and they really could have won multiple games because of those injuries. So I get the ceiling, but I don't know. I guess in theory, you're getting everything on paper you're getting with Texas and Alabama. A 5-star, unproven quarterback with a blue chip ratio that's like in the 90s. So technically speaking, I guess you're getting to buy that at 7.5. It just feels like seems like there's more uncertainty to Florida, but maybe there's not.
Yeah, and I think what you're seeing too is the market. You're seeing the hype, right? Because we saw flashes of what could have been. Now remember, DJ Lagway goes down that hamstring injury. They are on the verge of beating up on Georgia. They're going to win that game if Lagway doesn't get hurt, right? Yeah. And so let's not let that positive memory sort of fade out everything else, right? He's a dynamic and explosive athlete, absolutely, but he does have inconsistencies with his overall accuracy. And the SEC, if for nothing else, plays damn good defense. Most of the teams, minus LSU, right? And so what are you going to get over a whole season long where, kind of like we talked about Indiana, no one's surprised anymore. Everyone has DJ Lagway in Florida circled on their schedule as a tough opponent, not a 4-win team. So listen, I love it. It's a good story. I definitely will be watching Gators games as a fan, unless we have to bet on them as well. But like,
sure.
Yeah, let's be realistic about it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay, and before we get to the last team, remember, guys, make sure to like the video. We're here breaking down all of the Power 4 conferences leading up to the season, and when the season starts, we'll be taking you guys through on a weekly basis, breaking down what our models say, what our edge and value cases say as well. There will be real actionable takeaways for you all season long. So be sure to subscribe and hit those notifications or keep them up so you know when we go live and when our shows are up. But I want to end the discussion on the SEC on a team that, somewhat surprisingly to me, these fans were in our mentions and just chirping us all season long last year, and that's the Missouri Tigers. Okay, so we give them 8.1 wins come into the season for a median of 7.5, and that's where the market is at as well. So Steve or Seth, what's the read on this team, either from the data standpoint or narrative standpoint as you see it?
Yeah, everybody's asking me like, what's the ceiling on this team? What's the ceiling on this team? And I think we already lived through the ceiling of this team. You had a really good quarterback and really good quarterback play for the last 2 seasons with Cook. He's now moved on. You have an intriguing transfer coming in from Penn State, and he's shown some some promise, no doubt. But if he plays just as good as Brady Cook, did you not already see the ceiling? Did you not already live through the golden years, so to speak? And that's really what I see for this team. I think so much of the time they're winning, 7 to 8 games, and then maybe once in every couple thousand seasons, they win 9 games. I think that's really your ceiling is 9 wins. So I'm missing something here with the hype. I think you lived through the glory days, and can you relive them and win 9 games again? Maybe. Cover some games against Georgia. Sure.
Can you win 8 games? What do the simulations say about 8? Because that's largely where the market's at, and you can get some decent numbers. Plus,
is it at 8.5 now?
I only see 7.5, and actually there's a 6.5 at FanDuel -168.
I could be convinced at 6.5 to bet the over. How much? 68?
-168, yeah.
Maybe not that price.
Price matters, right? So anyway, to your point, like, yeah, if all they do is win 7-8 games, like that's right there, right? Like
FPI is the most favorable to this team. They're going to win 8.7 is their median. I think if you look at ours, we're much lower.
Yeah.
The rest of the market, 7.4 is the median of all the numbers. I think it's a fade. I think you live through. You saw this experiment. I guess that's my thesis here is I don't really know what more is going to happen. You had the quote unquote stars align. You made the longest college football kick of all time against me. I remember that. That's ingrained in my mind. So, I mean, you've seen the glory days. I don't know. I don't see even more things going right for you. I think maybe you could stay consistent, but I think 8 wins is probably your reality. Maybe that gets you the over, but for me, it's a fade. We do show about 3.2% based off the price. If you want to take the over, go Tigers.
Godspeed. All right.
Yeah. So, can we pull their schedule up? So I'm with you. I'm with you all the way, Seth. Here. I know there's a lot of hype. With Bo Pribula, coming in from Penn State. But I mean, this guy only had something like 35 pass attempts all of last year, 50 something to his entire collegiate career. So I get the flashes and the hope, but this is not something that I'm really to hang my hat on to you. Now, one thing I will say is that they lost a lot of talent last year, Missouri did, but what they did have is Caden Green coming back, arguably one of the best left guards in the country. And so if he can keep Bo upright, yeah, that definitely helps. The schedule part is this. I think the first 8 out of their 10 games are at home, something like that. Yeah.
8. Whoa.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So first 8, yeah, right? Yeah, 8 out of the first 10 games are at home. So if you can get on a little bit of run there, kind of get the confidence up, get everything in place, yeah, maybe you get a run there. But from a pure talent standpoint, I don't know. You're relying on some X factors to get you to the finish line. But while we play the game.
Like you say, they're returning 44% of their offense, 72% of their defense. So I mean, they're really starting over on offense.
Yeah.
Right.
They are. So it's gonna be fascinating. Yeah, I mean, this is the third time I mentioned now, but something that stuck out to me. Like, there's really only 4 wins that quote unquote separate the top from the bottom of the conference. From what our numbers say. So I think it's gonna be another good and fascinating year. I want to ask you guys open ended real quick. How many with the revised playoff format now? Do you think it's realistic we see 5, 6 teams from the SEC get in the playoffs?
Hot take. Can I say I hope we do? Like, I want to see more SEC and Big Ten schools play each other. Like,
you're one of those.
Yeah, I'm one of those. Give me the best games.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
So wait. I was thinking about. So you got your 4 conference winners, the 4 highest seeded conference winners, right? You've got your G5 school. You've got Notre Dame. So that's 6. So you're playing with 6 slots. Big Ten runner up for sure gets in. Probably only one Big 12 school, right? Maybe the ACC runner-up. We talk about Clemson and Miami. I can see both of them getting in potentially, right? Yeah, so that's 4 slots. Yeah, I think you could see 5 SEC schools potentially, depending on how it plays out.
All right, the SEC might end up just getting what they want at the end of it all. Who knows? But
we'll get what we want. good
That
games.
could be. We could be. It could be. All right, that'll do it for us, guys. That was the SEC breakdown. Again, we'll be here for you all season long, talking about our models, talking about value and edge cases. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. Don't forget to leave your comments on the teams you think we're too high on, too low on, anything in between. We'll be sure to respond in some form or fashion. And again, keep those notifications pinged so you know when we go live throughout the course of the season. Season's around the corner. We'll see you guys week 0. Peace.